traditional Thai massage begins with a prayer to the Father Dr. Shivago to request that the healing energies of the universe come through the therapist's hands in order to help the client. Take this moment to center yourself and to set your intention for the session ahead. Step 2. Walking palm press. Keep your hands relaxed like big cat paws and evenly distribute your body weight through the hands. Keep your wrists directly under your shoulders and your arms completely straight. Lean rhythmically from side to side, transferring your body weight. Your palms walk across the feet, from the toes to the heels and back. Repeat this movement a few times before moving on. Step number 3. 9 points, beginning laterally, moving medially, beginning by the toes, moving up towards the heels. Press them in order 1 through 9, and then back from 9 to 1. Now press the points on the top of the foot, points number 10 and 11, in between the knuckles, between the pinky toe and the fourth toe, and between the big toe and the second toe. Step number 4, thumb circles along the sole of the foot, beginning at the heel, move towards each of the 5 toes. Be sure to press the points right along the pad of each toe. Move from the pinky towards the big toe. Now repeat this movement on the top of the foot, again beginning with the pinky, thumb circling from the point on the top of the ankle down to each toe, from the pinky to the big toe. Step number 5. Gently pull along each toe. Warm up the knuckle with a few rotations, a few thumb presses, thumb circles, and then pull along each toe to see if maybe they'll crack. Step 6. The foot twist. Take a hold so that the palm of your hand and the sole of your client's feet meet. Do this move by applying body weight. Don't use your upper body strength, but lean back. The foot will naturally twist. Step number 7. Rotate the ankle in both directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. Repeat steps 3 through 7 for the other foot. Begin by thumb pressing the sole points. Then press the points on the top of the foot. Thumb circle from the heel to the toe. Repeat this movement 5 times, once for each toe. Now repeat the movements along the top of the foot, beginning from the ankle, ending at the toes, moving from the pinky toe towards the large toe. Step 5, traction for each of the toes. See if you can crack a knuckle. Now the foot twist, using your body weight, leaning back. Step 7, ankle rotation. Use your body weight here too. Gently rock forwards and backwards to rotate the ankle around, clockwise and counterclockwise. Step 8, Push the toes towards the head. Stretch out the sole of the foot here, pushing the toes down towards the mat. Next, straighten out the ankles and press the soles of the feet down towards the mat. Use your body weight. Stretch out the top of the foot and the top of the ankle. The third part of this step, push the toes towards each other. Stretch the feet towards the midline of the body. Step 9, walking palm press. Shift your weight slowly from side to side in a rhythmic manner, walking with widespread hands. Distributing your body weight evenly throughout your palms. Begin to walk up from the feet towards the knees. Palm circle at the knees, clockwise, counterclockwise. Lift your waist up so that your arms remain straight and your back remains straight, and continue walking, palm pressing all the way up just below the hips and back down again. Stopping once again for palm circles at the knees, clockwise, counterclockwise. Continue down, back down the calf muscles, being sure not to press along the shin bones, and finish once again at the feet. Step number 10, adjust your posture, move to the inside, move the leg out to about 45 degrees and begin the ABCBA pattern with a stretch. Step 11, palm press. Palm press from the foot, up the inner thigh, and back down to the foot. Next, you're going to work 2 inner meridians, I1 and I2. Walking thumb presses. One thumb leads the other up the leg and back down again to the feet. Complete the ABCBA pattern by returning to the palm press, step 11. Your palm presses should have a slight outward rotation and your weight should be evenly distributed throughout your hands. Finish with step number 10, a stretch to the outside. Now adjust your posture, come to the outside of the client, move their leg so that it's straight in line with their spine, and continue with the ABCBA pattern for the outside. Begin with a stretch, palm press, your palm presses here should cover the outside of the leg. Next, thumb press along the meridians, 3 meridians on the outside, O1, O2, and O3. Again, these are walking thumb presses. One thumb leads the next. Walk from the foot up to the head of the femur and back down again. For the third line, you may need to use your foot to hold their foot in place. Work with a scooping motion here. Line 03 is right along the mat. You need to scoop with a gentle upwards motion. Finish the ABCBA pattern by returning to the palm presses. and completing step number 15 with a stretch, pushing the toes towards the midline of the body while pinning down the hip. Shake that leg out, move it to a natural 30-degree angle. Adjust your posture again to the inside of the legs, moving the other leg out to about 45 degrees and beginning again with step 10. Stretching the leg, palm pressing from the foot to the hip and back down again. And working the 2 inner meridians with thumb presses. Complete the ABCBA pattern by returning to the palm press, walking from the foot to the hip and back, and by repeating the stretch, outward rotation of the leg, bring the leg to a straight line so that it's in line with the spine. Adjust your posture to the outside. Beginning the meridian routine for the outside of the leg, push the toes towards the midline while pinning down the hip. This is step 13. Step 14, palm press along the outside of the leg, from the foot to the hip and back. Step 15, work the 3 outer meridians, O1, O2, and O3. For the third line, press the foot towards the midline and scoop underneath with your thumbs as you walk from the ankle up to the head of the femur and back down again, gently lifting with a scooping motion. Complete the ABCBA pattern by palm pressing, and then with the stretch, pressing the toes towards the midline while pinning down the hip, stretching the outer meridians. When you've completed the leg meridian routine, kneel back in between your client's feet and repeat step number 9, the walking palm press. Begin down at the feet, walk in towards the heel, walk up, stopping to circle at the knees, palm circles in both directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. Continuing with walking palm presses up the thigh, finishing just below the hips, and working your way back down again. Step 17, bring your client's leg supporting the knee into the figure 4 position. Begin by gently palm pressing the bent leg. You're testing your client's flexibility for the first time here, trying to determine how flexible this hip joint is. Step 18, gently pressing along both legs, both thighs, palm pressing the hip open. Step 19, supporting the client's knee. Sit down, place one foot behind their knee. Your leg should be straight against the mat. With your other foot, gently apply foot presses with the ball of your foot right along the midline of the hamstring. Next, try pressing with both feet. Step 20. Fold the client's legs so that her shin is against your shins. Scoot up about a foot to compress the hamstrings with your feet and pull. Reach around to line 01 and pull towards you. Use body weight. Step 21. Use the tie fist, patting up and down the inner thigh to relax the muscles from the knee to the hip and back. Step 22. Scoot back to release the pressure on the hamstring. Supporting the knee, bring her leg to 90 degrees. Push the sole of the foot away from you. Apply your foot to the insertion of the hamstring. And using body weight and the hand grip from step 6, pull back. You should feel the sit bones against the ball of your foot. Pull laterally, then medially, then release. Shake the leg to relax. Step 24, hip rotation. Bring your waist up, come up on one knee, and use your body weight to gently rotate the client's hip laterally 3 times, then medially 3 times. Step 25, sink into your posture. Apply one hand to the shin, just outside of the shin bone, and one hand to the top of the foot. Use your body weight to bring your client's knee towards her shoulder 3 times, in sync with her breathing. Step 26, unfold the client's leg to stretch the hamstring. Keeping their straight leg straight and using body weight rather than upper body strength. Again, bring the knee towards the shoulder 3 times in sync with the breathing. There are several ways that you can adjust your posture here to give the client the best stretch. Step 27, place the client's foot in your hip pocket. Bring the leg out to the side. Palm pressing the inner thigh gently along the groin muscle. Your other hand keeping the straight leg straight. Step 28, bring her foot to the opposite side of her knee, using a palm in the pectoral muscles to stabilize the shoulders. Press the knee towards the mat on the opposite side for a spinal twist. Be sure to be pressing on the pectoral muscles and the deltoid muscles and not on the brachial plexus or the sensitive parts of the upper arm. Step 30, shake out the leg. Step 31, hip rotation. First laterally, then medially. Rotate the hip 3 times in either direction. Step 32, walk the leg up, ideally to 90 degrees. Begin with a forearm roll on the sole of the foot, starting near the heel, moving out to the toes. Next, try an elbow press along the foot points. This is a stretch for the hamstring, for the back of the knee. Step 33, walk the leg out to the side. Slowly testing until the toes of the opposite foot point to the ceiling. Next, lock her feet in place with your ankles and press right along the inner thigh, gently along the groin muscle. You may use 2 palms, one on either leg. Step 34, walk across the client, plant your foot above her knee to stabilize the straight leg, and bring the active leg down. The sacrum should come to a 90-degree angle to the mat. This is simultaneously a spinal twist and a hamstring stretch. Pull towards you along I1 and palm press the outside of the leg. Release. Step 35, shake the leg out to relax it. And begin again with step 17 on the opposite leg. Step 17 is the walking palm press along the figure 4. The figure 4 hip stretch. Walking palms and then both palms at the same time. The paddle boat. Foot pressing along I3, along the hamstrings with the ball of your foot. With both feet. Step 20, fold her leg, shin to shin, scoot up, and pull along O1. Tie fist along I1 and I2 to relax the muscles. Step 22, applying the ball of your foot to the hamstring insertion and giving the leg traction. Step 23, shake the leg to relax. Adjust your posture for step 24, hip rotation. With the client's leg bent at 90 degrees, rotate laterally and then medially. Hip stretch, bringing the knee towards the shoulder and the heel towards the glutes. 26, unfold the knee for the hamstring stretch. Adjust your posture as necessary and use your body weight. Again, there are different positions you can use here in order to maximize the advantage of your body mechanics. 27, the lateral hip stretch. 28, the spinal twist. Whether you use your hand or your foot, be sure that you're pressing on the pectoral muscle and not on the brachial plexus. Use a hand to scoop along the lower back for an extra stretch. Step 30, shake out the leg. 31, hip rotation. Laterally, then medially. 32, forearm roll and elbow press on the foot for a hamstring stretch. (33) abduction of the hip. Palm press along the inner thigh, along the groin muscle. (34) is the cross stretch or the hip adduction. Plant your foot and walk her active leg over so that the sacrum is 90 degrees to the mat. And step 35, shake the leg out to relax. Place it back down at about 30 degrees. Kneel between the client's feet and finish by repeating step number 9, the walking palm press. Beginning from the feet, walking up the lower legs, pressing only on the muscle, not on the bone. Palm circling at the knees, clockwise, counterclockwise. Continuing walking, widespread cat paw hands, up to the hips and back down to the feet. Adjust your posture so that you're kneeling in front of the client's hands. Take the last 2 fingers of either of your hands and isolate the middle finger so that you can stretch the palm out. Thumb press the 9 palm points in between the metacarpal bones, 1 at a time or 2 at a time. (37) Thumb press the 2 points on the back of the hand. Do this gently, maybe thumb circles is all that you need. Next, thumb circle from the wrist all the way down to the knuckles, each of the 5 fingers. Stretch the palm and the fingers. Step number 38. (39) Warm up each knuckle with a little bit of a rotation. And give a pull, giving traction to each one of the fingers, starting from the pinky, working to the thumb, and see if the knuckles crack. Step 40, rotate the wrist, clockwise, counterclockwise. 41, rotate the elbow. 42, rotate the shoulder. Shake the arm out to relax. Bring the client's arm into her side and adjust your posture so that your arms are straight out in front of you. For the arm meridian routine, again, ABCBA, beginning with a stretch, a palm press, and then thumb pressing along the meridian, O1, from the wrist to the elbow, and then scooping all the way up to the shoulder and back down again. Finish the pattern with a palm press. And then a stretch. Bring the client's arm out to 90 degrees. Again, adjust your posture so that you're facing the arm with your arm straight out in front of you. Use your body weight. For step 44, beginning with a stretch, then a palm press, and then the inner arm meridians. Press the side branches first. And then I1, from the wrist, through the elbow, to the armpit, and back. Finish with a palm press. And a stretch. Step 46, pull the arm to stretch the shoulder and to give traction to the arm. Pull it in all directions. Down, out, above the head. .47 is a medial arm pull. Pinning the shoulder to the ground, pull the arm across the chest. Step 48 is a tricep stretch. Bring the palm to the mat. Press the arm away from the shoulder to stretch out the tricep. Be sure that the wrist is in the correct position for this step. Begin with a stretch, a palm press, and then work the branch of the meridian O1 from the elbow to the shoulder and back. Finish with a palm press and a stretch and release. Step 49, place the arm above the head and palm press. Step 50, shake the arm out to relax it. And begin again on the other side. With step 36, thumb pressing the palm points. Thumb pressing or circling the points on the back of the hand. Thumb circles from the wrist to each knuckle. Stretching out the fingers and the palm. Step 39, crack each knuckle. Step 40, rotate the wrist. 41, rotate the elbow. 42, rotate the shoulder. 'And shake out the arm to relax. 43, A, B, C, B, A, stretch, palm press, meridians, palm press, and stretch. "44, for the inner arm, A, B, C, B, A, stretch, palm press, meridians, palm press, and stretch. "46, pull the arm to stretch the shoulder. 47, the medial arm pull. 48, the tricep stretch. Press the elbow above the head. Palm press. Meridian. Palm press. And stretch. ABCBA. Release the arm. Straight over the head and palm press along the arm. And step 50, shake the arm to relax it out. The short abdominal routine begins by placing one foot on either side of the client to position your body weight centrally and pressing down on the pectoral muscles where the pectorals meet the deltoids with palm presses, finger presses, beginning laterally, working towards the sternum and back out again, pressing under the clavicles. Step 52, finger circle the entire rib cage, sweeping your hands towards the heart. '53. Thumb press along the intercostal spaces where the ribs meet the sternum. Work from top to bottom and back up again. Press these points gently as they're sensitive on most people. 54. Gently palm circle and then press right on the sternum. Again, perform this movement gently. Next, walk your palms around to the lower back and gently lift. Lift your client up off the ground if you can, using your knees and your legs rather than your back. Rock your client's hips to relax the muscles. This is step 60. Palm press down the legs, back to the feet. Step 61 is a gentle back stretch to begin the yoga routine. Supporting your client's knees, bend her legs and place her feet right on your knees. As you bend your knees and lean forward, press her knees towards her shoulders. Keep her legs together to avoid them splaying out to the sides. Step 62, a lower hamstring stretch. Fold the client's knee, bending one leg to keep the other straight. Forearm roll across the sole of the foot. Elbow presses across the sole of the foot, beginning at the heel and working towards the toes for a hamstring stretch. Place one palm right at the hamstring insertion and use body weight to stretch out the straight leg. 64. Reposition yourself. For the pigeon pose, press the bent leg towards the abdomen. This is a stretch for the outside of the hip and the piriformis muscle. Here you're working on the bent leg. Repeat these steps for the other side. 62. Forearm roll, elbow press. 63. Hamstring stretch. And 64, the pigeon. Step 65, for the plow, begin by removing the pillow from behind the client's head. Place their arms 90 degrees to their body. Take both legs together Aligning the spine, walk the client's legs up to 90 degrees. Bring your posture around to the side and transfer their legs from one hand to the next, lifting at the sacrum, supporting the client's weight, bringing their feet slowly up above their head towards the ground behind them. The client may bend their knees if necessary. Be sure to adequately support your client so their neck does not become compressed, and allow them to breathe and relax into this pose. Release, reverse the steps, gently transferring their legs from one hand to the next, supporting all the way back down. Straighten out their spine. 66 for the butterfly, separate their legs, bend their knees, and step in so that your toes are directly under the armpits. Bring the client's feet around in front of your legs, and bending your knees, apply body weight to stretch the client's hips, bringing her feet towards her head. Hold this pose while the client breathes, and then release, stepping out as you stepped in. 67, straighten out their legs, straighten out their spine, bracing their straight legs against your body. Lift, once, twice, 3 times, giving the client a forward bend. Be sure that you're holding her wrist and she is holding your wrist so that she's secure while you lift her. 68, fold her legs as though she's sitting right on your shins. Ask for her arms again, wrist on wrist grip, and pull up. Once, twice, 3 times. On the 3rd time, hold her and gently shuffle your feet back, baby steps, bringing her to the upright seated position, bringing her hands down in front of her body, and positioning her for 69, the forward bend with crossed legs. Step 69, press the client's navel towards the mat. Don't let them round their back too much. Stop your palm presses just below the scapula so that you're concentrating on preserving the natural lumbar curve to the spine. Gently walk your palm presses up and back down. Lift the client back to the seated position. Adjust her so that her soles are facing each other for the bound angle pose. This is step number 70. Again, palm press from the lower back up to the scapula and back down again. Trying to press the client's navel towards the mat as opposed to the head. Step 71, bring your client back up to seated position. Straighten her legs out in front of her. Point her toes towards the ceiling. And repeat the walking palm press from the lower back to the scapula. And back down. Step 72, for the final forward bend, bring the client back to the seated position. Adjust her legs so that they're spread at a wide angle. Use your feet to push her legs apart. Take a hold of her arms. And bring her forward with just a little bit of body weight. Apply an anchor to the client's arms so that she can relax into the pose herself. You don't need to pull her forward, just be there, applying a little bit of weight, and allow the client to breathe into the stretch. Release, bring the client's legs together, come around behind, hold wrist on wrist, rotate the shoulders open, apply your toes just under the scapula, and with a little bit of body weight, pull back. Move your toes 2 inches down and repeat. Move your toes back to the original position and repeat. Perform this motion in sync with the client's breathing. Have them point their chin towards the ceiling if they can. The spinal twist, step 75, bring the client's hands interlocking behind their head. Place your legs straight, flat up against their spine, and with a lift, rotate them across your leg for a spinal twist. The position of her arms and your hands should ensure that the chest is open and the spine is straight. Step 76, bring her hands up over her head. Press with your knees into her scapula as you lift. 3 times, stretching out her back, resetting the vertebrae. And finish this routine with step 77, the Thai chop along her back. Ask your client to turn over and lie on their stomach, and begin again with the feet. Step 78, palm pressing the feet. Again, rocking your weight from side to side, keeping your arms straight. Step 79, thumb pressing the foot points 1 through 9. And then 9 through 1. Step 80, begin the meridian routine for the backside of the legs by stretching, pushing the heels to the outside. '81, with palm presses, travel from the heels up to just below the glutes and back down again. Here you can press on the back side of the knee with gentle weight. Be sure to use cat paws, wide spread hands, distributing your body weight evenly with a slight outward rotation. Step 82, thumb press along I3. You can work both legs at the same time or one at a time, whichever works for you. Beginning at the Achilles tendon, proceeding up to just below the glutes and back down again. Complete the ABCBA pattern by repeating the palm presses. And then the stretch. Step 83, bend one leg, adjust your posture, and forearm roll along the hamstring. Work from the knee up to the glutes and back down again. '84, elbow press along I3. Press down into your elbow and release by unfolding your arm. Keep your hand relaxed. Use body weight. Press down through your shoulder. And cool off the muscle by once again repeating the forearm roll. '85, rotate the ankle, clockwise, counterclockwise. '86, stretch the calf by pressing into the sole of the foot with an elbow or a forearm. The knee is bent here at 90 degrees. Next, press the heel towards the glutes. Place one hand on the outside of the shin, one hand on the top of the foot. Stretch out the quadricep here. This step can also be done by scooping up under the knee and lifting the knee, giving an intense stretch for the quadricep. That's step 87. Release and repeat steps 83 through 87 for the other leg. Forearm roll. Elbow press. Back to forearm roll. Ankle rotation. And calf stretch. Finishing with the quadricep stretch, pressing the heel towards the glutes. And lifting from the knee. Be sure with the quadricep stretch always to keep the lower leg parallel to the upper leg so that the heel does not fall to the inside or to the outside. Straighten the legs back out again, hip width apart, toes together, heels falling to the outside. And adjust your posture, taking a wide stance over your client. Step 88, thumb press the hip points around the head of the femur. Next, thumb press the points under the iliac crest, beginning laterally, working medially, and back out again. Step 89, finger press or elbow press the glutes. Cover the entire muscle, working from laterally to medially. Step 90, finger circle or palm circle along the sacrum, both clockwise and counterclockwise. Step 91, placing one hand on the lower back, one hand between the scapula and the spine, right on the rhomboids. Give a stretch to the back, a cross stretch. Switch your hands. Give a cross stretch to the other side. This is ABCBA, The next step is the palm press. From the lower back up to the scapula, back down again. Step 93, beginning at the sacrum, at the iliac crest, and traveling up along each vertebrae, line I1, along the spinalis muscle, up to C7 and back, line 2, along the longissimus muscle, the two cords that follow on either side of the spine from the lower back, up to C7 and back. And back line 3, pressing in along the iliocostalis, gently along the rib cage, and then right under the scapula, following the blade of the scapula, reversing back down, finishing the ABCBA pattern with a palm press, and a stretch for either side. Step 94, palm circling, finger circling the rib cage. Again, sweeping towards the heart, starting lower, moving up and back down again. Step 95, pulling the trapezius muscle, beginning out near the deltoids, moving in towards the base of the neck, and then back out again. Use body weight here. Step 96, adjust your posture. Have your client's head turned to the same side as the arm that you're working on, scooping around to support the shoulder. Begin with a shoulder rotation, using a blade of your hand. Press in under the scapula. Use thumb presses if you like. This is step 97. Adjust your posture, have your client turn their head, and repeat 96 and 97 for the other arm. Shoulder rotation, lifting the scapula up off of the thoracic region. Pressing down into the rhomboid muscles. Step 98. Place your knees on the client's lower back and press your weight down into their buttocks. Take a hold of their arms, rotate them towards each other, opening the shoulders, opening the chest, and using body weight, lean back, lifting your client, stretching the thoracic region, opening the chest, but preventing the abdomen from lifting off of the mat, preventing the lumbar spine from being stressed, using body weight. Have your client point their chin towards the wall in front of you. Release. Step 99, the single leg locust. Take a hold of one leg. Elongate the leg by pulling back only so far that the hip does not raise off the mat. If the hip raises off the mat, place your foot down on the lower back, only about 10% of your body weight. Press through the ball of your foot, being sure never to press on bone, and lift. Repeat step 99 for the other side. Single leg locust. Keeping your balance, place your foot in the lower back. The ball of your foot applies just about 10% of your body weight. Pinning the pelvis to the mat while you lift the leg with your arms. Set the client's legs back into a relaxed position and finish with a Thai chop to relax the back muscles. Be sure to chop gently on the kidney region and cover the entire back. For the head and neck routine, sit above your client's head. Pull the pillow out a little bit so that there's space underneath the client's neck. Begin with step 100, thumb pressing under the clavicles, beginning laterally, moving medially towards the sternum and back out again. Step 101, turn the client's head to the side and press the shoulder down and away to stretch out the neck. Don't apply weight to the head. Move the shoulder away and simply hold the head in place to achieve the stretch. Begin with finger circles along the side of the throat, from the clavicles up to the ear. Continue around to the neck, and finish step 102 with an ear massage. Gently rolling the ear between your thumb and your forefinger, pulling the ear out, up. Repeat these steps for the other side, rolling the client's head gently, pressing the shoulder away, finger circling the throat, finger circling the neck, and 102, massaging the ear. (103) Turning the client's head back to the neutral position, using thumb presses, scooping underneath the trapezius, following up the neck. These are the continuations of lines 1 and 2 in the back. Step 104, hook your fingers into the base of the skull and pull towards you, giving traction to the neck and the spine. Begin with a more lateral finger position, move medially, repeating this move, and back out laterally again. Now with finger circles, travel from the base of the skull up around to the temples, beginning again at the base of the skull, walking with finger presses, gently scooping up the midline of the back of the skull, over the crown with thumb presses, and continue down to finish at the forehead. Step 105, follow the chin lines, stopping with a gentle finger circle at the TMJ. Follow the forehead lines, stopping with a thumb circle at the temples. Move up a thumb's width with each line. Your last line should follow the hairline. And now step 106, scrubbing the scalp with a shampooing motion, activating the crown chakra, the connection with the divine energy. Scrub the entire scalp, the back of the head, the top of the head. And step 107, gently cup the ears and press with a slight circling motion to create a vacuum. This is a visualization where you visualize drawing up the negativities through the meridians, drawing up the negative stagnant energy through the client's body, collecting in the vacuum that you're creating for the ears, and releasing out. Having drawn the impurities out, the classic routine ends as it began, with a moment of prayer. Traditionally, this is a moment of thanks to the Father Doctor for coming through the hands of the healer and healing the client. This is also an exercise in metta bhavana, or the cultivation of loving kindness. Repeat to your client, may you be well, may you be healthy, may you be happy, may you be peaceful.